Toscano.
Come back to the city. It's safe.
Maryland Governor Larry Hogan, after Baltimore Mayor Stephanie Rawlings Blake lifted the overnight curfew.
Right now, I'm very confident. What we saw over the past few days is not just the resiliency of our city, but also our communities coming together. We want to heal our city.
The governor and the mayor saying they want people to visit businesses damaged in the riots to help them get back on their feet. GOP Congressman Paul Ryan, chairman of the House Ways and Means Committee, telling CBS's Face the Nation he thinks welfare reform is a good place to start healing places like Baltimore.
Let's see if we can, all of us, try and learn different perspectives. Let's try and understand the anxieties that are underneath and beneath this.
Nepal says 9 Americans are still missing and unaccounted for following the April 25th earthquake that's now killed more than 7,250 people. Rescuers found 51 bodies in a village on a popular trekking route over the weekend. House Speaker John Boehner says Hillary Clinton needs to publicly back trade legislation that President Obama and congressional Republicans want and that many Democrats oppose. Boehner telling NBC's Meet the Press.
She can't sit on the sidelines and let the president swing in the wind here.
The penalty phase of Boston Marathon bomber Dzhokhar Tsarnaev's trial is set to resume tomorrow. John Trout gets us up to date.
Proceedings were put on hold Thursday after one of the jurors fell ill. Tsarnaev was found guilty on April 8th of the bombing that killed 3 people and injured over 260 more than 2 years ago. Before the trial was put on hold, relatives of Tsarnaev were expected to take the stand. The defense is trying to spare the 21-year-old from the death penalty.
Testimony also continues tomorrow in the Colorado movie massacre trial. The capital murder trial of James Holmes began last Tuesday. He's facing charges in the July 2012 shooting in the Aurora House of Movies. The 12 people were killed, dozens more were injured. I'm Michael Toscano.
Every year, the United States Postal Service helps feed those in need of food. On May 9th, 2015, help stamp out hunger by leaving a bag of non-perishable food items by your mailbox for the carrier to pick up. This food will help local Americans in need of food. This message was brought to you by your local branch, 385 and Method8Inc.com. Thanks for your support. Johnny wants to be a performer, and everybody knows school costs money. Johnny wants to know what he has to do to become a performer. Plus, he needs experience before he decides to spend the money for school. Johnny's confused. He has no one to talk to about his choices. He then hears an ad on the radio about Media8tor Arts Academy, where he can perform, network, train, and find a place to prepare for school. Johnny has found a place to expand his talents to make his decision and also increase his resume. Now, let's explain how Johnny got signed up. He went online to Method8Inc.com and clicked on register. They called him back, asked him what his vision was, then found a place for him to perform. Whether it's theater, music, or movies, as long as Johnny is willing, Method8Inc.com is able. And that's the story of how Johnny became a performer through Media8 Arts Academy.
The head of Tesla Motors is making a pitch to homeowners who might have once been leery of bulky, inefficient, solar-powered systems for the home. Correspondent Scott Carr has the story.
The fact that it's wall-mounted is vital.
With the unveiling of his company's new powerwall rechargeable lithium-ion home battery, Tesla CEO Elon Musk says that all changes.
Okay, you don't have to have some room filled with nasty batteries.
At 51 by 34 inches, the Powerwall can fit on a garage or basement wall, can power an average home for about a week, and gives homeowners the option of getting off the power grid, at least during peak use times with a solar panel system. Its price is fairly competitive. A basic 10 kilowatt-hour variety goes for around $3,500. U.S. shipments are expected to begin this summer. I'm Scott Carr.
Now that American Pharoah has a Kentucky Derby win to his credit, everyone's focus is on whether the thoroughbred can capture the Triple Crown. The feeling is that even though American Pharoah didn't blow out his competition, it was a promising performance heading into the Preakness. I'm Michael Toscano.
Have you ever thought about publishing a book, but just didn't know how to do it? Well, at Media8, we try to make publishing simple. You ask questions, we give you answers. You want a book? We find the right option for you to publish. When you need advice about getting your methods out to the world, Media8 is the place to call. Register today at Method8Inc.com, where we make ideas seem simple.
This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is not a drill.
If you need help, then dial your operator.
Have no fear, fellow citizens. The mediator is here.
All doctors to the ER. All nurses to the nurses station. Code blue.
Hello?
Shots fired, shots fired.
Okay.
Officer down. I repeat, officer down. 911, what's your emergency? Backup is en route.
Evacuations continue tonight in Maribel.
Apartments, you can see this evacuation notice
there.
on one door.
Rolling, motion, roll sound, and action.
Ladies and gentlemen, Americans,
I didn't think it was
fellow citizens, Ohioans, Pennsylvanians, you are in the Mediator with Brian West and Alicia Sparks.
Hello.
We have the welcome mat out for you today. We are talking about the sport of football. We have my man Chris Foster on the line. Chris, you there?
Yes, I am.
Excellent. We are ready, man. We pumped up the NFL season is upon us. We still have a few months, but the semi-pro league, semi-pro league is kicking off here in a little while. Now, to give everybody a little bit of history lesson, the football actually started in the state of Ohio in 1920 to 1935. Started out with just a group of guys, leatherheads, just getting together, and they had a hectic schedule. They would play football in some of the wee hours of days. Sometimes they'd have 2 games a day, and I think the running game was so solid back then. So, Chris, now that we have you on the line and you're ready to talk about the semi-pro league, tell us a little bit about the semi-pro league, Chris.
Yes, we're excited. We getting ready for the season. What I like about the semi-pro, which we call it pro development, is it gives these guys an opportunity to show their talent, on the field and off the field. One of the things of being an owner is we want to let these guys go out and show their talent in front of fans, let them have a good time. But the main thing is the league itself and all the rules that they put forth for the team owners, and I think it's a fantastic thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's a taste of what's to come.
Exactly.
Yes.
So you guys, tell us a little bit about the rules in a semi-pro league. Are they like the NFL in any type of way, or like college any type of way, Chris?
Well, you have leagues that go by different rules. The GDFL, which is the league that we're in, we follow the NFL rules.
That's awesome.
That's what I like.
Mm-hmm.
Because when we talk about pro development, then they're getting, they learning from here on.
Right.
What's on what they can do on the field. So that's why we decided to go with the GDFL, only because of, what they're doing for the teams and the players, and to follow the NFL rules.
That's really awesome.
So now the draft, how do you guys recruit players? Talk a little bit about that, because we just had an NFL draft.
Over the weekend.
Yeah, and I didn't see any semi-pro players in the draft. So tell me a little bit about that scenario.
Well, when I started, this will be our 3rd season.
Nice.
When we started, it was word of mouth. We went after guys. Well, by the grace of God, I have 2 sons that play on the team. So we started there, and they went out and got, friends that played with them in high school. Mm-hmm. And we sat down and we talked to them and let them know what we was trying to do. And that's how we done it the first year.
Yeah.
The second year, it was word of mouth. Mm-hmm. And we have to realize that the word of mouth is a powerful thing.
Yes, it is.
And we these guys that come into teams that, it sounds a little crazy, but they're going to go to the team that have numbers, that have nice looking uniforms.
Yeah.
And then they looking at your season before record. So we've been blessed that, we have had all those things. But as an owner, I want to put out the best product on the field. I want to make sure that they have everything that they need to have to do what it is that they have to do. But another thing about pro development is a hard thing, because you have these young men that, might not have had that opportunity to go to college.
Right.
Yeah.
But, we try to open up doors for them.
Right.
But, you know, you have family, you have jobs, you know, so all this stuff comes into play and, you know, during our season. So it's a hard thing. It's a hard thing to do, but, you know, we do the best that we can do.
I think it's really awesome. You know, also, I have a lot of family members and friends that have transitioned through high school to college to the NFL and, you know, even afterwards. And I think what you're providing is an awesome transition loop, not even just for those who don't get the opportunity to go to college and to shine in college, but also for those that, you know, might have went to college and learned structure and learned, you know, the game through the college and then didn't really get that exit they needed or wanted. So now they have another loop or another way to go about getting to the next level. And I think that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So tell us, like, I mean, how do you guys get your support? How's your support? Do you have boosters? Do you pay the players? Tell us a little bit about the business of it.
Well, here's, let me start with the paying part. We do not pay our players.
Okay.
And the reason is because, you know, you have guys that want to go to that next level of college, and that could really mess up their eligibility.
Right.
Yeah.
So the important thing, let me just say with me, the important thing for me is first figure out who wants to go and try to get to that next level.
Right.
Once we find that out, then we move to, you know, you're going to have guys that want to make that next step. Then you're just going to have guys that just want to go out and play football because they like what we're doing and they like our program. It's a wonderful thing. But we do not pay players. I don't believe in that. As far as sponsoring, me and my wife, we sponsored the team the first 2 seasons only because we believed in what we were doing.
Right.
We have our staff. We have a wonderful staff that come up with fundraising ideas, and that's what we try to do. This year, excuse me, we set out and we applied for our 501c3.
Okay.
What that allows me to do is to go out and get sponsorship.
That's awesome.
It sounds like what you're doing, Chris, is you're taking because it talks. I'm sorry, I got to shout out my reference for today. I got Chris Willis's book. You can get it at your local library. It is called Old Leather. It's an oral history of the early football in Ohio from 1920 1935, and the book talks about a lot of just pretty much how the NFL was founded and a lot of its productivity. The book it goes in depth with the players, and it sounds like what you're doing is what Joseph F. Carr did for NFL. He was the president from 1921 to 1939. He was the son of an Irish immigrant. He was born in Columbus, Ohio, and he renamed the league, the Pro Football League at that time, into the NFL. And I think after being the second owner for 18 years, he organized the league to where they had contracts, and there was he improved the state-to-state relationship. So is that what you're doing for this semi-pro league?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're when we say we follow the NFL rules, that goes from on the field as far as my team goes off the field.
Nice.
The league do have contracts that they have to sign. I have to sign a contract being the owner.
Right.
I have to go to meetings that the leagues have.
Nice.
Yeah.
And it's guidelines that the owners and the coaches have to follow. So it's basically the same thing.
Yeah.
So how long have you had this team that you're speaking of?
The Northeast Ohio Silverbacks, we're going into our 3rd season.
Okay, that's awesome.
What type of productivity you guys been getting? You getting productivity? Like, have you seen growth?
We have seen growth, man. Listen, the difference between other teams and the Silverbacks is I don't want to see my guys for 2 or 3 years.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if I see them for 2 or 3 years, it's probably a good thing if they just playing football.
Yeah.
I want to see these guys leave. Now, some of the reason why, you know, when it comes to the Silverbacks, listen, I'm a church-going guy. I don't believe in the cussing and the arguing.
Yeah.
You know, on and off the field. I don't believe in on the Facebook, you know, just going at it. I don't believe in any of that.
Right.
I don't want my guys going to my coaches. Anything that we have a problem with, we come together on Tuesdays before practice and we put these problems out and we we fix them, and we move on.
Yeah.
Now, I know you were saying that they're just as responsible on the field as they are off the field. So that leads me to my next question, which is, would you say your team is getting better or worse in regards to discipline?
It's getting better.
That's awesome.
I'm going to tell you one of the fantastic things that happened to us 2 weeks ago, and it was a wonderful thing. One of our young ladies is on the board. She reached out to one of the local hospitals, and we was able to take 5 guys and myself, and we was able to go to the children ward.
Aww.
And I'm going to tell you, if I've had a lot of things that touch me.
Yeah.
But when we walked in there and just a smile on their face.
They light up. Aww.
Yeah. And that, that we would take the time out to come and visit with them.
Yeah.
But listen, I would do that 24 hours a day.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I look at myself as just a servant.
Yeah.
And the enjoyment that they got out of that couple hours that we was there, I left and I told the young lady, whenever you can put the silverbacks in another slot, you just call and let me know, and we will be back.
Now, one thing the older players, they would talk about, especially I'll mention some of the players from the old age. You had Fritz Pollard, Nesser Brothers. You had George, and then you had a few others. I can't go through the list, but there's a lot of guys who were involved with the founding of the NFL, from the Canton Bulldogs until now. You have the Cleveland Browns, but a lot of these teams, and you have the Football Hall of Fame. So I guess what I'm trying to see is, now, where does the semi-pro league fit into? Like, are you guys what is your future plans as you develop more and more with relations?
It grows bigger.
Well, our plans, and I can only talk about, the team and the league. I know one of the things the league is wanting to do is open up. Right now the European League just partner up with the GDFL.
Yeah. Okay, that's great.
That's cool.
And then what they're looking for, they're looking to put, I believe, 6 or 7 teams together. And where these guys, now, the wonderful thing about that is that anybody can register as long as they're in the GDFL.
That is cool.
Okay. Now they talk. Go ahead, Chris.
So what that does for an owner is, now this is open up to you, but now you're gonna have to start carrying yourself as pro development.
Yeah.
I have a thing with the sagging pants. I have the thing with, and that's just some things. Now, I can't tell a grown man what to do.
Yeah. So
but you can give structure.
I can just show them. It's ways that we have to carry ourselves in order for people to look at us and take us serious.
Yes, and it's the same way in the NFL. They expect you to uphold a certain standard, especially when there's so many different people that are watching and it's on such a public display. So you have to be completely prepared and ready for that by all means necessary. So I definitely agree with you on that.
Exactly. So we're excited. And, the growth is coming. It's crazy that we had 3 scrimmages. We actually had a preseason game last night.
Yeah.
And one of the things I told the guys is, look, we're coming in here. We're going to carry ourselves as pro development, win or lose. If we win, we're going to win as a team. If we lose, we're going to lose as a team.
Right.
And we have come so far that, I was actually really, really excited for what I seen on the sidelines yesterday. Now, unfortunately, we didn't win the game, but we learned a lot of things.
Exactly.
Now, Chris, do you think money not being involved in that particular sport is a good thing? Because some of the greats from the old era, which was the founding, they talked about how they would only make maybe about $75 or $100 every. And I think when the stock market crashed and the United States went into the Great Depression, they had such a hard time recovering, but they stayed involved with the game for the love of the game. So by you seeing it yourself, how these men are maturing and they're growing with the sport, do you think money is a bad thing or a good thing when it comes to the development?
I would have to say, honestly, I would think that it would probably be a good thing.
Okay. You saying money as in paying the players or not playing the players?
Well, I'm talking money far as the Silverbacks, I'm talking money that's coming in for sponsorship.
Got it.
Okay.
So we are able to buy the uniforms.
Right.
We're able to purchase their
Supply
helmets,
what you need.
their shoes, and whatever that they need to go and on the field.
Yes.
No, so that's when I say sponsor, that's what I'm going after. I'm going after, these companies to come out and help us finance these 8 weeks that we have in these games.
Now, what about I think what I'm saying, like the ethics, like the players, like since they're not getting paid, do you see that as a better way of handling it, or do you see it do you think money interferes with the players actually playing the game? Like some people talk about the fight last night, and they said if money was not on the line, it probably would have been a better fight.
Would have been a totally different fight.
So when you're talking about the players on the football field, do you think money makes, like, you see pure guys who love the game, and that's what I liked about when I was reading the book about the greats who founded the sport, is they were playing for the love of the game, and they would go on other teams, and it was just like it was fun, and it was all in Ohio. That's the great thing about it. So now that you're in the midst of seeing the future potential of the semi-pro league developing, and there was a semi-pro league back then as well. So are you saying that money? I'm talking about with the players. Is that a good thing or a bad thing that they're not being paid?
Let's put it this way: if they were looking to get paid, then they wouldn't be doing it.
Exactly.
That is beautiful. I think that's why I say that's the purity of the semi-pro league. Because when I came out there, Chris, I seen these guys on the field, and they were taking hits, and I think I'm not a big fan of wealth. I'm not. I mean, money does pay the bills, but when I was younger and I used to play the sport, I just did it because I enjoyed it. And when I was not enjoying it, I put it down. And when I was reading about the foundings and the foundings of the NFL and all that stuff, it would tell you a lot of those guys would go out there, they get their teeth knocked out, I
think it's a combination of both. I honestly think that they're not just out there to just be out there. They are playing, with the passion backing it, but also with the intent to do it like within anything that you're going to be an expert or that you're going to be at a pro level at. Of course, once you reach that pro level, then you expect to be rewarded or paid for being at that level. But you've got to get to that level. You've got to get the structure. You've got to get the standard. And I understand where Chris is coming from as far as, that not being a huge incentive to pay them, because right now that's not what it's about. Right now it's about developing to get there.
And that's the great part about it. Now, Chris, tell us a little bit about when you talk about the way the game has changed, like when you go from the leather football, I mean, they got the leather helmets, the leather, all that stuff from that era to now where they have the helmets, and they're having such a problem with injuries and things like that. Tell us what you feel about how you feel that could be addressed when it comes to injuries and things like that. Because when I was, real quick before you answer the question, they said that the good thing about that era was the guys were solid. You had solid players. Some of them were animals, and they would embrace the field. They'd have their leather on, and the best thing that they said is that they would get knocked down, but they would play the game. They get their teeth knocked out. Guys were still in the game. So tell us a little bit about what you feel about the changes. The changes of football.
Well, I wasn't back in that era. But, hats off to those guys, and I thank God for them for starting it. But it's so important, and I mean so important, for whatever that we can give these guys to protect them. It's so important for them to have it. Again, these guys are coming from family lives and work lives and coming to the game to have fun.
Yeah.
So, we have to protect them. I won't let anybody on the field if they don't have a protection
on.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
And it says some of the guys didn't even wear their helmet back in them days. That's how rough they were.
But you know what? Now, like, the game has changed so much. I mean, if you look at how they were playing then in comparison to how they were playing now and how the aggression in the sport has changed, I mean, like, it's almost imperative to protect yourself, which leads me to my next question. Chris, do you think that the players are getting softer? Like, I know all these rules and regulations are being instilled, in the league, and I know for sure that you're following now the NFL, the rules and regulations that they have. Do you think that the players are getting softer? Do you think that they're changing, the rules and everything just to ensure safety? What do you think about that?
Well, I think that's so important. Safety should always come first.
I agree.
safety should always come first. And you know, and if we're gonna do this, if these guys are gonna do this, I mean, football, basketball, whatever sport, you have to put it in the back of your mind. I mean, gee, I can go out here and have a good game today, and go out there next Sunday and break a leg or an arm.
Exactly.
Exactly. So safety should be first
always.
In everything. In everything. And it was funny that you asked that question, because last night when we were at the game, the referees, he came over, he said, Coach, look, he said, we're going to let them play football.
Oh, that's good.
Said, but I'm all about safety.
Good.
Oh, yeah.
That's the kind of ref you want.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, you know, guys out there without their mouthpiece in.
Not okay.
You know, if we see it, we're going to call a timeout, let them put it in, but if we continue to see it, it's going to be a flag.
Yeah.
And I was all for that. I was
like
all
that.
for it because of the fact coaches can't see everything on the field.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So, you know, when you have referees that looks at it that way and out for safety, then it's a wonderful thing.
Yes. I know.
It's a wonderful thing.
I agree with you on that.
So, Chris, now some of the players from that era say that the reason why people are starting to get concussions and getting injuries is because of the equipment, and because they said at that, so the game is structured so differently now, and I can vouch for that because I have some experiences with the game. They're now it's more strategic, but where back in them days they used the running game a little bit more. They didn't pass a lot. So nowadays I think it's more almost like a strategic warfare where you got players on the field. The quarterback, you know, it's late in the game and he could throw that interception, where back then they would pound it with the running back. So in the semi-pro league, tell us a little bit about the way are the rules similar? Do you guys pass a lot? Do you run a lot? How do you guys balance out the game?
Well, listen, bro. I can't give out all my secrets.
I know that's right. The season's getting ready to start.
I'm trying to answer your question. I believe, again, either when you're talking about the NFL or pro development, these guys have a life that they have to live.
Right.
Yeah. They don't sign up for this sport to go out there and take a headshot.
Right.
You know, this sport shouldn't be about going out there and you know, when you have rivals, you know, and I think that some of them rules that they brung in is a good thing.
Yeah.
Because when you have rivals that come together, and if the referees are not doing their job, and these guys are taking headshots or, you know, taking a dirty shot after the player is down, you know, and the whistle's blowing and they still hitting. No, it's not about that.
Yeah.
You know, let's play a clean game. Everybody, and you know, wonderful thing about this game is if we can get 50 guys to walk, if I can get my guys to 50 guys to walk on the field and walk off.
Right back off. You've done something good. That's right.
It's a good game.
Yes, right.
But, you know, the rules are put there for a reason. I believe in them. You know, you know, when you see a football player that, you know, come off the field with a head injury or a neck injury, and then they done.
Yeah.
You know,
it's over.
So those rules have to be enforced. They have to be put in place. And once they, you know, put in place, then everybody has to follow those rules.
I agree with you. You know, I have plenty of family members that have played, you know, in the league on both offensive and defensive sides, and they will not hesitate. My defensive players and the family will not hesitate to let you know that, you know, a play could be over, and in order to make sure that that player is down, they could be at the bottom of the pile. They are going for collarbones. They're going for elbows. They are doing whatever it takes to make sure that they got the job done. So I think the rules are very, very important by far.
If we didn't have those rules, if those rules wasn't put in place, and I know every NFL team that you go to has a trainer, and they always have 911 sitting on the side. If
Doesn't matter.
Those rules wasn't in, then, you know, the hospital would be having a whole lot of patients.
Yep.
Now, Chris, you talk about the players, and I told you about the players, and back in them days, there wasn't. I think there was more financial troubles in the state at that particular time, because I think it really took off when after World War II, the NFL and things like that. So when you talk about off the field, now the NFL has had so many problems with off the field problems. Now you're just doing, this is semi-pro, so I know you have to have twice as many problems, because those players, you're getting players from all around the community. So how do you manage the off the field issues?
The off the field issues, this is what I tell them when they come to it. First of all, we let them know our statement.
Mm-hmm.
We have we was blessed enough to have a church come in and do a documentary on the team.
Nice.
I took that 4-step documentary and I put it on my website. And any guy that comes to be a part of the team, they have to watch that video.
That's awesome.
Now, I'm going to let you go out there and show your talent.
Right.
But this is what you got to bring to the table.
For me, right.
Now, I've had players, get in trouble and call me, and I listen to them. And I don't point the finger at them. First of all, I try to help them.
Right, right.
Second of all, you shouldn't have been doing this, but it is what it is.
It's a lifeline lesson. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And, what's funny is they call me and my wife Mom and Pop.
Of course. Of course. That's funny. That's right. That's how it should be.
So with that, a lot of respect comes.
Mm-hmm.
With that, my wife, I tell you, and she's not here, man, if I say one thing about one of them players, she just go right off.
Quick.
Oh, I mean, so y'all got kind of like a family relationship on the team.
So,
that's fabulous.
I wish when I go do my taxes, I can write them all off.
That's right. All my kids. That's funny.
It's wonderful. But we do hold them. We do hold them for, things that they don't.
Accountable.
That they don't. We hold them accountable for things that they do.
Mm-hmm.
And what's a blessing is that, they'll call us up and let us know, hey, I did this. I won't be at practice, But we'll work through those issues.
That's
but
cool.
the one thing is that I believe everybody deserves a second chance.
Yes.
And the thing of it is that I don't sugarcoat anything. And one of the reasons why we've done this was to try to keep these young men off the streets getting in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Trying to show them that they can have a good time besides going and hanging out at the bars every night or hanging on the street corner.
Right.
The way I look at it with the Silverbacks is every Tuesday and Thursday, I got 40 or 45 guys at practice, so they're not getting in trouble.
Good.
And every Saturday that we have a game, I have them same 40 or 45 guys at the games with their wives and girlfriends and their kids and their mother and father. It's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, that is beautiful.
Enjoy that. And one thing about the Silverbacks is we just trying to bring something back to Akron that's been here but kind of fell off.
Right.
We're going after these families that don't have anything to do on Saturday because so much is going on in the streets.
Right.
Well, come on,
stimulate the community. Mm-hmm.
You're right.
Mm-hmm.
Come back and let's try to get this back on track.
Yes. It gives them hope.
Yes. I gave out 200 tickets last year to high school youth program.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they came to the game, and they had a chance to meet the guys after the game.
Oh, that's
we
phenomenal.
always try to have pictures, at halftime or either after the game. Let these kids come and take pictures.
Yes.
And that makes the kids feel good. And it makes the players feel good.
It sounds like what you're saying is you're taking the pressure off of them as players.
Right.
We try,
and that's good because you get the most purity out of the sport when I remember when I was a kid and we would I played for the Buckeye Raiders. It was a little league team on the field, and I left the team because I wasn't feeling the sport anymore. I think I got caught up in the hype, and I think that's what happens when players get caught up in the hype. I think it kind of affects them because you take the fun out of the game. So it sounds like you're putting together a family environment to where you come out there, you bring your family. And the first thing I thought about, Chris, when I came and watched you guys and I was taking pictures and things like that, I said this is probably just like the league was when it was founded. When it was when it's the semi-pro league, but I'm talking about football in general, because I'm telling you, Sparks, you got girls up to the stands with their kids. I mean, everybody's sitting around, and you got concession stands over there, and it's a good thing to watch, you know. That's what I'm saying, Chris. So you guys are keeping the family atmosphere out there, huh?
We're trying, and see, the one thing, and there's so many teams in the Ohio area and the Akron area. There's one thing that I told me and my wife when we sat down and talked about it. I wanted to be different than anything else that was out there. So when we say that we are family, that's exactly what it means. We are family. Wonderful. When we on the field, we're focusing on football. I don't like to hear the cursing.
Yeah.
The one thing that I explained to the guys, I said, up in that stand somewhere could be your next ball.
That's right.
Could be somebody that wants to sponsor a team.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then not only that, let's not forget about those young people.
Yes, that you're inspiring.
And watching you on the field. So, it's a lot that we have to uphold when we on and off the field. So that's one of the things they have to accept when they come to the Silverback.
Quick tagline, everybody. You are listening to the Media with Brian West and Alicia Sparks.
Hello.
If you want to donate to the program, you can donate at, go ahead, Alicia.
Method8 INC. That is Method, the number 8, INC.com.
And you can donate anytime. We are talking to Chris Foster about the Semi-Pro League and the history of football in the state of Ohio and Pennsylvania. And he is spilling out his thoughts about his lovely players and how they're always well behaved. They come in there with suits on and they're ready for the game.
They're so perfect.
Yeah, but
I think it's really, really cool what you're doing, Chris, because even in essence to, the league or the next level within the NFL, not everyone within the community has it within their means or within their reach to go to an NFL game, to go to a Cleveland Browns game, to go to a Pittsburgh Steelers game, so it gives them that in-between hope. It gives them the touch effect, like it's reality. Like I could touch them, I could go and I can actually watch them in person.
Absolutely.
And see these guys who have amazing talent that, you never know. This could be the next football star on the field within region, of these leagues. So I think it's a really good deal.
Now, let's talk about this real quick, Chris, because a lot of guys in your same position, a lot of high school football coaches and a lot of guys who are like football crazy, they said that they were not only displeased with the way that the Super Bowl was handled, but some of them say when they went and watched the game down in Texas, even the college championship, that they felt that they were overcharged for these are let's get on the level of this, because I just went to a high school softball game, Chris, and these girls played so well and they were having so much fun, and they didn't have a concession stand. They didn't charge to come in the game.
Wow.
But what we're talking about here, Chris, is you're talking about people who love the teams, and they show that love even when we talk about boxing. People spend money on these sports, and so you're talking about the purity, the essence of football in itself. Now, the coaches were saying they were upset with the NFL because of the charging. How much you're charging these people for the demand and for the tickets. And I mean, do you think that's
somebody's got to pay for these contracts? Somebody's got to pay these contracts.
Well, when you get I see where you're going, and I'm gonna try to answer to the best of my ability. When you getting these players that you signing for $45, $30 million, somebody's got
to pay for it. Somebody's got to pay for it. Yep.
But let me tell you what's a good thing about us, about the Silverback. Number one, I didn't get into this because I thought I was going to get rich.
Right.
Yeah, I can tell. I seen that when I was out there.
I'm a God-loving man, and I believe everything that we do, God is going to give it back to us. Now, if we didn't do it, who would?
Exactly.
I think this year we charged $8 for the tickets.
Wow.
And then we run our own concessions. But the thing that we do with all those funds is we pay for the school, we pay for the referees. There's other costs to that
you invest into.
And whatever else we use for trophies when we have our banquets, we rent a hall. So the money is going right back into the team.
Yes. Yeah. I get it.
So, and they like that. They respect that because, I don't know what other owners do with their money, and it's really not my concern.
Mm-hmm.
But I tell the guy, I don't even charge him. This year we didn't even charge him for uniform and even a fee to be on the team.
Wow.
Oh, you didn't? Oh, man, that is fantastic.
That is winning.
That is.
That makes me want to go sign. Can I play football?
Can I come play quarterback?
Chris? Got powder puff anywhere? That makes me want to play.
The reason I done that, and me and my wife sat down and we prayed over it.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why we done that, because there's so much talent in the city, we might have a guy that comes and just have all the talent in the world, but don't have a job.
Or can afford.
Right. Exactly. So, when I say second chances, we'll go out on the limb and we'll let these kids come, well, not kids, men come on. But trust me, they walk in a fine line.
Right.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Now
I get it.
They walk in, it's the same as the NFL. You walk in a fine line.
That's right.
Because of the fact that, we're taking our money and putting it into this program just so you can go out and show your talent. So, it's a lot. The only thing we do is ask you to respect us and our rules.
Right.
Yeah.
And then everything is fine. So, we're not doing it to try to get rich.
Right, right.
Last year, we had my mother-in-law, which is the pastor of our church. She came with her trailer, and we let her do the concessions.
Wow.
Oh, wow. So you guys...
now, she done the concessions. She tried to give us money for the team.
Right.
But I turned around and gave it right back to her. You put it in church or whatever. So we're being blessed.
Yes.
In that way. So, but now this year, we're going to do it. And then, some games we might just give away 200 tickets.
That is great.
Give them in the stands. And then, whatever money we make on the concessions. So, I'm not doing it to get rich.
Right,
If I was doing it to get rich, trust me, I wouldn't be doing it.
Well, Dr. Louis Chabody, who was a fan of the Portsmouth Spartans from 1930 to 1933, he said that I'm sure I was just like many other young kids in Portsmouth that felt the Spartans were certainly our heroes. So at that particular time when football was being founded, to kids, they looked up to these players, and if it was going on back then and it's still going on right now, are there kids that are looking up to the players? Like, do you guys have a support system from the youth that are watching? Are they becoming fans of the semi-pro league?
You would be shocked. You would be shocked when they come to the game. I be on the sideline and they be, coach, pop. Can we go down and talk to the players? I said, you can just hold off until halftime or either the game is over. So we make time for our young fans.
Yeah.
We try to get in at halftime, give our speech, and let them get back on the field. Let them take pictures, sign their autographs, or whatever the case may be. One thing that we did last year, we had a gentleman there. He was taking pictures, and he developed them right there on the spot.
Oh, that's awesome.
So kids could come and take pictures. We can sign them and whatever. I believe we have to give that back to them because of the fact we don't know who that young kid might grow up to be.
Exactly.
Amazing. Now Lester Higgins, who was one of the founding fathers of the NFL, he in 1920 he said he came up with the idea. He got the idea because it was going on. He knew that they were playing the game, but he was the boost. Now he was a treasurer he was the treasurer for the Canton Bulldogs, but he was also a banker. So tell us a little bit about the administrative side. Like, how are you guys networking in regards to the business of the semi-pro league? Tell me about some of the faces.
Again, this year, this past season, after the season was over, we went down and applied for our 501c3.
Okay.
So doing that, there's guidelines that you have to follow.
Right.
We had to go out and we had 5 board members. And they came in and we sat down and got that straight. So now what the board does, if anything that the team needs or any bills that have to be paid when it's concerning the team, it goes to our board.
Through the board. That's
very
amazing.
Smart. That's amazing. So you guys,
our board will vote. If it's something that we need to buy for the team, the board will vote on it.
Board. That's very smart.
And, let me tell you about our fantastic coaches. You know, again, these guys have family and jobs, but they take their time out,
right?
And because they believe, the 5 coaches I have now, they believe and see the vision that we're trying to get to. It's a wonderful thing,
right?
And they donate their time, but I let them have input too. So this year, what I done, I took the role as the head coach, and my coaches come in and you know. Only thing I got to do is make sure that they doing what they're supposed to be doing
in different positions.
And whatever the needs of they need, then I have to take it to the board.
Right.
And it goes through that process.
That's
so
cool.
we're doing it the right way. This is going to be our first season doing it. But, it's going to be little bumps in the road.
Right.
But I'm sure that we'll get over it.
Now,
but it's been so wonderful.
Speaking of networking, I know you were mentioning about networking through your board. Now, as far as networking with other teams, I know that you are, under the NFL guidelines. Are you networking with, the Browns, with the Steelers? Are you networking on the other end? Are you networking with various high schools throughout the areas within Ohio? Just in case if there are, I'm from Harding. I went to Warren G. Harding High School, graduated. Go Harding. And, we had phenomenal players there that, majority of them did go off to college and then go off to be in the league. But, for those other players that might not have went to college, I really feel like this would have been an awesome stepping stone had they known about it, that they would be like, what, I might not be going to college, I might have other responsibilities as a parent or, to just start a job, but I would still like to recreationally go and play football. Are you reaching out to the various high schools in the areas or around the areas around the state of Ohio and also to, on the other spectrum, the league? Are you guys doing that at all?
That's the most fantastic thing about our coaches. My offensive coach coached at East High School here.
Oh, awesome.
So that's a network.
Wow.
More of my coaches went to Mount Union.
Okay.
And then my other coach, he's so connected with colleges. And so, we covered on what we need to do and what we're trying to do. And I can tell you, just last night, we had 4 new guys.
Oh, is that right? Come and sign up.
Came to the game, and I gave them my business card, and they said, look, Coach, I see what you guys are trying to do.
Right.
I heard about your program, and I would like to be a part of it.
That's
that's
awesome.
Fantastic. That is fantastic. Now, so you guys are getting recruits in and things like that, and you're starting to see the game grow, and so what? I guess I had a question about. I think it was about the players, like the athletes, who's like the standout? Like, how you got the characters in the NFL, like there's some players who stand out who are just phenomenal athletes. Yeah. Who's that? Who's the go-to guys in the semi-pro league? Like, who are the key players that are standing out?
Especially on your team.
Yeah.
Okay, man. Y'all just gonna make me tell it all.
Yes.
Okay. So what we done is we took, and I'm going to implement this on Tuesday. I'm going to put 2 of my vets as captain on special team, 2 of my vets captains on offense, and 2 on defense.
Okay.
The reason is because we have so many young kids, young men that's coming in. So now they can be that role model.
That's structure.
Now, I'm going to tell you, we have an ex-NFL player.
Oh, wow.
That plays for us. We have some indoor arena players that play for us.
Nice.
So, it's all coming together.
Good.
That is phenomenal.
Good. Now,
and please don't make me tell you his name.
We're not. We're going to make everybody go to the game and find out who it is. Now, speaking of ex-players that are in the league and various things, how do you feel about enhancements and supplements and with body weights and all of that? How do you feel about that?
I don't.
Strictly against it.
Because of the fact it's too much that comes behind it.
Yeah.
So now this is where the story opens up a little bit, Chris, because back then in the founding of it, there were no supplements.
Right.
Now do you think that may be what's causing the problems, do you think it's really the hits, or do you think it's the supplements that these players are using? That's one thing we did want to bring up.
When you got knee pads, thigh pads, ankle pads, shoulder pads, and then you got a helmet, you got a chin strap on, and then you got a mouthpiece. Come on.
Yeah.
So, it's got to be what they're doing.
Right.
You might be, that might be the mystery, because I'm gonna tell you, when I was playing the sport, I came across they had this supplement. I'm not gonna bring it up because I'm not in their world, but there was a supplement, and it would speed up the heart. When
like
you
adrenaline?
Yeah, it was like you take the supplement, and I didn't take it. I didn't want to take it. I tried it one time, and my heart rate got up so fast.
Wow.
So they're not bringing that into the forefront. They're talking about the hits, but I mean, you got
there are a lot of other things that do take place
because
into it.
When we talk about the old school, I said I went through a lot of these players' lifestyles that they were playing. They were not talking about supplements. They were talking about only thing that could happen. You may get a few. I don't even think they were talking about concussions, but you got your teeth knocked out. Right. You got a few bumps and bruises. But they're not bringing that issue up. They're not bringing about what they're doing to these players, because these players
even
are
mentally, they're on
some stuff. I mean,
Well, listen. They can't afford.
Right. Exactly.
And the sad thing is, and it goes back to what you said earlier. They charging $25, $30 a ticket.
Right.
For them to come in and watch a game. Yep. Now, I don't believe in that, because you were born. If the Bible said that your body is a temple.
Yeah.
So why go through that?
Right.
What's going to happen 10 years down the road of all the stuff that you don't put in your body?
Exactly.
Just to satisfy your owners or your coaches.
Right.
I think it's nonsense.
It's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure.
That is a lot of pressure, because it seems to be affecting a lot of what's going on in the league, not only just in the league but in college right now, where players are having
expected to be at a certain level, at a certain weight, at a certain everything, and they're like, how do I do this? How do I go about this? And then somebody introduces to them whatever this method or the supplement is, and then their whole world changes from then on. Everything.
What I think needs to happen, it has to start with the NFL. Because these colleges wouldn't be doing it if they wasn't trying to get to the NFL.
Agree.
Yeah. I think the NFL needs to crack down on this nonsense and let it be known that it's not going to happen. And then you have these kids coming out of college know that they can't do it, and they're going to, if they get caught, you just done. I mean, it ain't no coming back. You're done.
It's over.
So it has to start with the NFL. And I think that's something that really needs to be looked into. But again, there's so much money being made.
Exactly. That's all that's really being focused upon.
Exactly.
Now we're down to the last 7 minutes of the program, but I do want to talk a little bit more about the ethics part of the sport, because players are using drugs. They're doing everything they can, and I think there's a lot of pressure on the players. I think there's a lot of pressure on the coaches. When you got in the NFL, they had the big thing where they were trying to accuse the Patriots of cheating and things like that. Do you think that they just need to go out there and just like it was in the beginning, just play the game, just like you guys are doing? You're going out there. It sounds like you got a family structure. Win, lose, or draw, these guys go home. They know what they need to do, and they're just playing the game. Do you think there's just way too much pressure going on in the NFL, or even in college right now?
Well, let's put it this way. I signed with the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I've signed my contract. I don't show them everything they wanted to see.
Yeah.
Now, if I go in there just being me, and that was enough to get me on the team. So now here comes the pressure. Well, we need you to do this. We need you to do that. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So the teams are doing it to the players, because the players are trying to satisfy
the team.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's amazing. Now, some of the players say this is like really sad. Some of the players say that they dropped out of the recruitment process because they felt it was like slavery. Some players actually believe this when they go into and they got to be recruited. They felt that it was like being, like it was. I think some players said they even cried, and they did not want to be treated like you got to go into a machine butt naked and they got to spray you down and things like that. I think something like that. But how do you? It's like semi-pro is like open enrollment, but these are players saying that this is what they felt when they were going into the league.
And they're also getting paid these $1 million contracts.
Yeah, but that's good. That's good. But I'm just saying that's what some of them say. How do you, what do you feel about that, Chris?
I haven't heard of anything like that.
We had some guys from Ohio. There's a lot of because Ohio's a big football state. I'm a football fan myself, but sometimes you get guys, they come back and they say, "Man, I just couldn't take it." Like they say, I'm not going to mention the names, but I know some players who got on some team. He said it's just way too much. It's hard.
It's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, so he said he went back to being a fan.
Here, first of all, you start from high school, then to college, and then by the grace of God, if you make it to that next level in NFL.
Yeah.
As long as it's not, I hear what you're saying, but it's got to be some more reasoning for the things that they do.
Oh, I'm sure there is, but this is just some of the, you hear guys talk, and that's what I don't think it's like that. I mean, I look at it as a professional sport. They gotta get their money's worth. I mean, they are invested in these players' careers. They make a big difference in these players' lives, and then they don't know. It's like a gamble. When you get these players on a team, you don't know what they're going to be doing. Some guys sell drugs. You just don't know what's going to happen.
A lot of times, and this is coming from someone who was engaged to a person that was in the league, a lot of times it's just really about being focused. You know what I mean? You know what you signed up for. A lot of these guys have been playing football since they were babies, 5, 6 years old, not even just high school, through junior high school. High school football is all that they know. That's their number one passion and hobby, and you know what you're signing up for. Once you get into the league, you do. You know what's on the table. You know what's expected of you. You know what you have to go out there and do. And at the end of the day, the hardest thing about it is really that it's just extremely political and making sure that you go in there day in and day out and do your best. And you got to show up against the vets. You got to show up against the new guys. You just got to show up.
Yeah.
And that in itself is a lot. It's a lot of competition. It's a lot of pressure. And it's a lot of money on the table. But when you have the talent and you have the passion, you go out there, do what you got to do, get your money, and get out.
So Chris, now we're down.
I think what, on her, to piggyback on her, it's just like you take 10 guys that's going after the same position.
Exactly.
Wow.
And these 10 guys know that they're going for the same position.
Yeah.
They're going to do what they have to do to win that position.
That's right.
Now, we talked about that, and we're down to the last 3 minutes. Now, tell us if the semi-pro league is there and the players cannot get it in the NFL, what is the what message would you like to send to those players? Would you like them to come and just, try out in the semi-pro league or just play? What is your message to the players who don't make?
First thing they need to do is, before they join the team, do the background of the league that team's in. With the GDFL, what they done is they set up a website where the guys that want to be a part of a GDFL team can go to this website and read about all the things that the GDFL is doing.
Awesome.
With the European League and other things that's going on, so you got it right in your face, what they doing and what they looking for. Then it'll be up to you to get on the field and do what it is to do to get to that position.
Okay, real quick, Chris, we got 1 minute. How can people support the is it Northeastern Silverback? Yeah, I'm sorry. The acronym, how can people support your team?
They can go to neosilverback.com.
Neo.
Okay, and once they get to there, the website, give them a little questionnaire or any questions they want to have, and my number is also on there. And they can do it that way.
Tell us when your first game is, really fast. We got a few seconds left.
May 23rd. May 23rd.
I'm going to be out there. I will probably be out there, and it's home, right?
No, it'll be at Green High School.
Okay, Green High School. I want to thank everybody. I want to thank
Awesome
you, Chris,
talking
man.
to you,
Yeah, we
Chris.
had a good time.
Thank you.
NFL season is amongst us. Semi-Pro League is amongst us.
Yes.
Go out, get ready. We just had the draft. A lot
Yes.
of my Titans got a good player. We got the guy from Oregon,
Hey,
so I'm all
should
excited
be an
about the
interesting
season.
year.
Go out and support the Semi-Pro League. I want to thank you for tuning to the media with Brian West and Alicia Sparks.
Hey.
Next week, we'll be talking about Mother's Day. We got an author coming on. Have a good week, everybody. And thank you for tuning to the Mediator.
See ya.
Listening to News Talk 790 WPIC, Sharon Hermitage, a Cumulus station sponsored by the Ridgewood at Shenango Valley, a premier senior living residence.